Welcome back to Marbella Now. My name is Nicole King, and this week we are joining Alboran Sales here in Puerto Banús, thanks to Piotra and lovely William, who's learning how to sail. And we're going to do a little tour, so why don't you come with us?
Let the music get to your heart. Let it set you on your way. No time to hesitate. We are all the same. So much trouble tearing us apart. Poison arrows shoot straight to your heart. We can change if we try. Just believe it's worth your time. One, we are at one, we are at one, we are at one. Let the feeling into your soul. Let it set you on your way. No need to hesitate. Time to make a change.
It is so nice to be back on Alboran Sales with Piotra, particularly for me because there is no wind. I know for Piotra this is awful, but I think I might have cancelled otherwise because such a generous offer. But I'm not a sailor as such, but there is nothing as nice, I have to say even so, than being out on a yacht in the ocean. So Piotra, thank you so much for welcoming us back. This is so nice. The family is having a super day. Our intern, Jerry, is having a super day. We're going to chat with him in a moment. Amanda asked you a great question before. Why the name Alboran Sales? Where did that come from?
Alboran Sales, so nice to meet again.
Yes, nice to meet you again. We never say hello, it's always just so much fun to hear.
Yeah, Alboran Sales. Alboran is the sea, the north of the Mediterranean Sea is Alboran, see? So we call Alboran Sales because we are here.
And you obviously love being on the Mediterranean. You've been in Marbella now for 7 years, you were saying.
Yes. I was now. I spent next season in Marbella, but 7 years already. And before we spent season in Turkey, Greece, everywhere. Yeah, in the Mediterranean Sea. So now I am 7 years here in the Mediterranean, in Marbella.
And you're obviously doing very well. You're always, the boat's never there, which is nice to see that you're always out on tours. What kind of trips can people do with you, Piotra?
You know, now in summertime we make a day charter, so we make short trip, 4 hours, 8 hours. We go to Gibraltar, we spend overnight in the boat, and next day we come back to Gibraltar, to Ceuta, to Morocco. But in September I start another trips, yeah? Another trip, so it's mean 1 week, 2 weeks, so to Portugal, to Casablanca, to Balearic Islands. So for me, it's another life in winter time.
And the nice thing was you were saying about also people get you to actually deliver boats and things for them. So there's a lot to being a sailor when you're making it like a living as a profession. In the sense of like you think of maybe just like, oh, you're sailing, but you actually are working. What a nice way to work.
You know, I like my work. It's true that I'm working like since more than 20 years, and some people call me to make delivery. I take his boat and I go to another islands. Yeah? For example, now in November we are going to Caribbean, to Martinica. Yeah? So we'll be trip like 1 month together. So
and what is
my job? And so my job, my life.
You're also training now for the second season. We have a intern, a becario with us, and you've got one as well. You've got a young gentleman who's helping you on the sailing. So what's it like to teach someone to sail? You know,
normally it's yes, it's true. I am instructor of the sailing. Yeah, so I teach the people sailing. Sometimes we make some trip for 1 week or 2 weeks, and I teach. I teach to navigation, and we are in Marbella, Puerto Banús, and here is very nice condition because we have in Mediterranean Sea and Atlantic Ocean. So between Africa and Europe, so we have really nice condition.
So it's not just if you want to come to go
lot
out.
of currents for navigation, for sailing boats is to teach,
Maybe
to
not for learn.
For learning is the best condition in the Mediterranean Sea, I think.
So to Alberancels, you can go and do short day trips. You can also go and do long trips. You can also deliver people's boats, and you can teach people. So this is keeping you obviously very busy. Do you ever take time off?
If I take my day off, I go on the sea.
What kind of things?
You understand?
This is obviously you're so lucky. When you're out here in this area of Puerto Banús, Marbella, if someone goes out there, what kind of things can they expect to see? Do people actually get to see dolphins or?
Yeah. Normally we start day morning, and we are going on the sea to take breakfast in Couscous in Marruecos. And when we come back, we see dolphins.
So it's always recommendable to bring a passport, because you never know where you may end up with Piotr.
Never know where we are going.
When will the season finish for you this year here in Marbella?
Last year I finished in November, and this year I don't know when I finish. Normally I don't finish. I keep going.
Keep it going. I mean, with all the different things that you do.
Exactly.
Well, lovely. We're going to have actually a chat now with Jerry, because it's his first time sailing. We're not really sailing because there's no wind. As I say, ideal for me. But, sorry for you. But it is, even when it's a completely different experience when it is windy. No, I mean the boat's on the side.
Something else. Yeah. We don't. We take engine off, and we use the only sails, and wow.
And that's what it's all about. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Where is the love shining through it all? Drops of rain will fall. Feel it coming down. Where is the love? Takes your breath away, leaves you unafraid. Feel it falling from above. Where is the love? Where is the love? Where is the love? Where is the love? Look around, am I halfway in the clouds? I can feel it.
William, I believe you're French. Hello. Is you French?
Hello, yes, I come from France.
He has that wonderful accent, so how could this not be the case?
Yeah, but I think the French accent is sexy for some people, no?
I think for most people.
Yeah?
I think we'll all agree on that one. William, this is your second year with Piotr learning to sail.
Yes, I was there the last summer, and I come back this summer because I really love Marbella, and it's a really nice city. So it was sure that I really wanted to come back here and to be on this boat and to learn the sailing, because I come from Brittany. Brittany is a part of the French, and you have a lot of sailors and a lot of boats, and the boat is my passion for few years, and I have also my driving license for few years, but mostly for the motorboat. And now I am in Marbella with Piotr, the skipper, who has a lot of experience, and he teach me how to drive this kind of boat, because it's totally different than the motor yacht or the motorboat. Yes.
It's not for everyone. You have to be really brave, because when the best sailing that I see with Piotr, it's when it's most scary. I mean, that obviously is something that you find very exciting.
Yeah, but this boat is for me is a real boat, and is real. The sailor have to have a sailing boat for me, okay? Because his yacht is really nice, but it's another thing, and you have the feeling that the freedom, because you don't use the engine, you don't spend the money, for example, to buy the fuel. It's only with the wind, so I have a feeling of freedom when I am on the sailing boat, and you can discover many countries, and even make a tour of the world is possible with a sailing boat. It's for that I really love the sailing boat, and I prefer to be on the sailing boat than the motor yacht, for example.
Oh, so you've got a nice big turnaround, and you're saying it's even helping you with your work, because the more knowledge you have, obviously, in the industry, it's a very specialized one as well. So do you think you'll be coming back to live, or just coming back to visit in the following years?
In Marbella? Yeah, but I really love this city. So I don't know because I prefer live day after day. Okay, I don't know where I will be in 5 years or 10 years. I don't have a plan, and I prefer live like it because you enjoy more the present and don't think a lot about the future. And I prefer live like it. But now Marbella, I really love this city, and even Puerto Banús. Okay, it's a little bit crazy, and you don't see this kind of life everywhere on the road. But I really love that. I really love to.
You know, Marbella has 3 other ports as well. I hope you visit them as well. They're very different to Puerto Banús. So
So it's for that. In Puerto Banús.
Well, I love your philosophy, and I think a lot of us could take note from that, living more in the present. And if you want to have a lovely day, or give someone a present like I did for my son's birthday, I organised for him to come and have a day out on Albaran Sales with Piotr. Do contact Piotr and during the summer with William, and come and get yourselves a little trip. It is blissful. Merci beaucoup, monsieur.
De rien, mademoiselle, je vous en prie.
Enchanté.
Hey, hey, it's a brand new day. Hey, 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 it's a brand new day. Halfway twisted, you've been out of shape, and you feel like you've missed it. Dropped out the race, and as time flies by, you'll open up your eyes wide. You feel it's gonna go your way. Hey, hey, it's a brand new day. Hey, 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 it's a brand new day.
very surprised that Jerry, our intern during the summer, said that he hadn't actually been sailing and wasn't anything that was on his diary of things to do in spite of having grown up here on the coast since you were a baby. So how are you finding it today?
Absolutely wonderful, to be honest. I'm surprised I haven't done this before. It's really peaceful out here. I'll definitely do it when it is peaceful. When it's windy, I don't know. Would I take the risk? Maybe. See how it is. It's a new experience, and this is a wonderful experience so far.
It's funny how many of us, I'd say, wouldn't think of doing this. We live on the ocean, but we wouldn't think of contacting someone like Piotr to look at going out. Do you think this would be something that your family would enjoy now that you've kind of like experienced it?
Oh yeah, it's completely a different environment, and it's the sea. It's peaceful, but it's exciting at the same time because you're somewhere completely different. And really it is that. You look at Puerto Banús and you go through Marbella and you just look at the boats and you never actually think about getting onto one. And now being on one, it's quite wonderful.
Not so difficult to do either. Simpler than you think. Marbella has everything, and now you can even go sailing. Do you think you'd like to learn to sail, or the wind's kind of you? Yeah.
I don't think controlling the boat will be nice. Sitting here is really nice.
Have a little motorboat or something.
Absolutely, that would be quite nice.
Something for everyone. We were just talking about the difference between journalism and being a busybody, and we think that there's not much actually. But the nice thing is that Amanda is coming up with some great questions for Piotr, and we're just talking about a sextant, and this is it. Okay, Piotr, you've been dying to explain what this is. Please do it, because this looks fascinating.
Exactly what I want to show you, this is the old apparat for position, navigation. Yeah? So now we use GPS, that is too much easy. But before, to find our position on the sea, on the ocean, we use the sextant. Yeah? And to find our position, you have some books, and you take like 15 minutes, 20 minutes to find our position. And now you click, and you have always with GPS. Yeah?
But if the ocean's like really rough, by the time you found your position in 15, 20 minutes, you could be somewhere else.
Normally, always you have to know your position on the sea. Yeah? Even if it is storm or bad weather, you have to know. Yeah? You take your position today, and after 2 days, you have to know your position always.
When you're doing big trips like you're going to do now, that you're going to be delivering a boat to somebody going on a really big trip from Gibraltar to where?
To Caribbean.
To the Caribbean. On a trip like that, I mean, you must have so many machines and gadgets as well as a sextant. I mean, you could be facing all types of unknown waters, or before you leave, you kind of have an idea what's going to be happening.
Normally, you must be ready for everything, yeah? So even if you have now electronic stuff, GPS or satellite telephone, yeah? Always you have to know sextant.
Fascinating.
between the horizon and the sun.
Around those areas.
So you use the filter and seis cosas de 30 grados.
And then explain it to someone else.
Now you go down with the mountain to look the degree. Yeah, from the car.
Unfortunately, age is something that we cannot get away from. We are all getting older. Unfortunately, also, some of the people who are getting older are on their own. And as we get older, maybe we're not quite as capable as we used to be. And that's why our community is very important. We have a lot of people who either become widowed or separated or were on their own in the first place. And when you live in a foreign country, that actually can feel quite lonely, particularly if you're feeling under the weather. We have now Age Concern Marbella and San Pedro. And thanks to that fabulous voluntary operation, there is help. Whether you want people just to come and have a chat with you, someone to go and help you do shopping, drive you to a doctor's appointment. Well, there are loads of things you could need help for. If you need help or you would like to offer your services, your time to help people who need you, please just give a call to the helpline 689 355 198. That's 689 355 198 for the helpline of Age Concern Marbella San Pedro.
Hey, hey.
Hello, my name is Marisa. I'm the lawyer for Marbella Now TV program. Today we're going to talk about something that lately soon going to be involved to kids. That is a case of separation of divorce. And in summertime, statistically, is the worst period for the couple because they spend so much more time together. So please do get not involve the kids in your own conflict, because according to law, we have solutions for everything. We are a business, we are lawyers, but we are human, and we know very well that all the couples has a solution, a first solution. So even if you are married or unmarried couple, the kids has the same rights. If you are resident in Spain, according to law, you have to be divorced, separate, or regulate just personal situation according regarding the kids in the Spanish or in the Malaga court, family court. So just to have a different scenario, even if you have different nationalities, you have been get married in any other country, you have to be here on court to get divorce. So we can have the standard application of the law for the children. That means that they have right to have a visitation system for both of the couple. That means if the mother and the father both works, that means that they can choose the shared custody. But there is now a trend for the court, because in the past the mother used to keep at home and take care of the children, but nowadays the woman used to be a work woman, a business woman. That means that we have to share the time with the family and our own business or our own job. And it's the same for men. So we have to establish a visitation system that has to be as balanced and as fair as much as can, according to the timetables and to the shift of each one of the couple. And we have to establish the pension for maintenance the children, because both parents have the obligation, are committed to give the best that they can to the children, and that's mean economical situation to get them safe, to provide them with the school that they can, with the education that they can, as far as the economy of each one can. So this is a brief scenario of what happened with the children when the couple are split out. Another day we will talk and another kind of question that you can do in the website of our program, or just in www.justlaw.es. Thank you.
Hello everybody, welcome again to our little corner for AAA. This week I am with a wonderful doggie that is Zaza. Zaza is about 6 to 7 months old, and she is a cross of a French bulldog and something else which we do not know. She came in about 4 months ago with her brother, who has been adopted right away. But Zaza is still waiting for a loving home. She's a wonderful pup at the moment, of course. She's about 6, 7 months old. She loves other dogs. She has a tremendous amount of energy, so at the moment, of course, like a teenager, she's discovering the world. So she's really looking for a loving home, somebody who can take her for walks, let her run and play with her. And she's waiting for you at AAA with many, many others. At the moment, again, we have about 400 dogs. We again have a lot of pups that come in and are looking for a home. It's very, very warm at the moment at AAA, and very, very warm for all the doggies. But we're doing our best. Please watch your own dogs with this heat. Don't ever leave them in the car, because within several minutes there will be a heat wave in this car and the dogs will dehydrate within several minutes and can die. There's a lot of mention of that already. Also walking on the streets, on the tarmac, it can be hot for the poor animals' feet, so watch out for it that you don't walk them too much or too long on the hot streets. Other than that, I'd like to present that we have coming up the International Homeless Dog Day on the 18th of August, which will be coming up in about a month's time. I will tell you about it more. We will have the flyers and the posters available, but please reserve that day. It will be the International Homeless Pet Day. It's for all the pets that don't have a home, that have been abandoned, etc. It will be many countries participating that day, and I will give you some more info later. For now, I'll say goodbye. Remember, don't shop, adopt. Thank you. See you next week.
Hey, hey.
I'm always saying you never know who you're going to bump into in Marbella. Well, last weekend while I was at the paddle club in San Pedro, I bumped into the lovely Yasmin, and Yasmin was there from Vanessa Van Kamp's real estate, but she was there actually helping out this lovely gentleman named Pietro from a company called Domus Virilis. And what they do is, well, that means in Latin greenhouse.
Greenhouse, yes.
But you don't make greenhouses, you're
No.
making wooden houses.
Wooden houses with natural materials, so ethical and green.
And you're Italian, so one wouldn't jump to assume, you know, more like Finland or Holland, but for an Italian to jump on board, what was your interest in this?
Interest because we've been in construction for years, and we turned from the traditional construction to these greenhouses, where we are using wooden structures for the boxes, let's call these boxes. And then we finish the houses with natural materials, so lime inside, clay. We can put essences in the lime, so you have a perfume in the house. All these
Pretty
kind of
cool.
things, yes.
When one thinks of wooden houses, and one thinks of the three little pigs, and you can huff and puff and blow it in, you can have it burned down. Obviously that isn't the case. It must be structurally sound, and obviously it's not a fire hazard. How can that be?
So it is very sound structurally, and it resists to fire better than the concrete, because concrete, with the heat, there is a decay in the steel, while the fact that the fibers of the wood are very pressed, there is no air inside, so it resists better to both fire and earthquakes.
From what I've been hearing since I was so interested in this, it just sounds like such the right way to go, is that by the way of placing the wood together gives it such a strength, more so than putting the concrete cement together with iron. It's heavy to move it around, it doesn't last as long, so it's really everything against what I would have believed.
Well, I know, it's as a matter of fact, the problem with our market is mentality. You know, to overcome the mentality, especially in places like this. We came over here mainly to catch the Northern European market, right? The Northern European mentality. And, but, you know, the first house we built here is for a Spanish lady. So her first reaction was, La Casa de Madera is La Casa del Campo. But then finally she got into it, and she is the first one to have this kind of house here in
Is it
in
quicker to
Marbella.
build?
It's quicker to build because the first panel of the house we installed on the 26th of October, and she's been living there already for a month, so it's very, very, very fast, including the swimming pool, so including external works. So.
I believe that this is looking towards the future, that there are already some tower blocks made of wood in the world, and that there are plans to really develop this all around the world. You're looking on an independent basis like here, so if I wanted to buy a plot of land and build a house, I could equally build a wooden house as opposed to going into all the other options.
Yes, I mean, especially a few architects in UK are starting to think of using wood for skyscrapers. They are proving that it is more resistant structurally, more resistant to fire. So they are going that way. As I told you, it's mainly a mentality problem, not a technical problem. Okay. One more thing that we add to all this is that we can finish the house with 100% made in Italy materials, with very fancy, which we select around Italy with artisans that can personalize each tile for their clients.
So as you were saying, it's not like the country house and a little shack of wood.
No.
This is making a beautiful
Yes.
Marbella-worthy home, but with the right materials.
Absolutely, yes.
Again, just quickly, wooden house, cutting down trees. We're losing the rainforest. The idea of cutting down hundreds and thousands of trees to make tower buildings, apparently that isn't a problem because it would just be a replanting issue.
All these houses are built with wood which are replanted. and are cultivated, can I say cultivated
Yes.
in English? Which are cultivated just for this use. I mean, we are not cutting down wood, so it's all seeded and grown for this market.
If someone is interested of finding out more, building a wooden home, are you going to be around in Spain? Do they have to contact Unity? How does one go about getting more information?
So we have a website, domosviritis.com. There are telephone numbers on the website. We have Yasmin here, as our rep from now on. I mean, this is a new.
She does good, huh? She's good at what she does.
Yeah,
She knows everyone.
She opens up. Yeah, she knows everybody. She opens up a lot of doors. So I think that's the best choice. Now we will officialize this collaboration, and so all our numbers will be available with Domus Viritis.
Perfect. So next time we won't necessarily be chatting with you. We're talking about Yasmin. If you're interested in having a really nice greenhouse, ecological, good for
your health.
For our health,
Yes.
and you can even have it to smell to your own taste.
Exactly.
I mean, I just love that.
Yes.
I mean, well, it just
Yes.
sounds perfect. I'll have two.
Okay.
3. Got the kids, a rich kid, but it sounds like a lovely band. Can you do that little urbanization or?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. As I told you, technically, we design the houses, we get them produced, and we install them with our Italian crowd, and so technically there are no limits. No
Like the
limits.
sound of that. Molto prego.
Okay, grazie.
Bravo.
Thank you very much.
Hello Marbella, and it's Amanda from Silk and Sin here again, and I'm here to show you a slightly different section from my normal Agony Aunt slot. And this is a new section that Nicole's very kindly allowed me to present on Marbella Now TV, and it's called the Feel Good Factor. Now, a couple of things I'd like to stress first. When I say the feel good factor, I mean the feel good factor for you. We're going to be talking about tips and little things you can do to make yourself feel more confident and better about your body and about yourself. Now, these aren't tips for other people. This isn't making yourself look better for other people. This is making yourself look good for you and feeling the best you can. When I do my women's workshops and one-to-one sessions, I get a lot of feedback from women saying, I don't like this part of my body, I feel embarrassed to do this, embarrassed to do that, I don't want to bare myself. And in the modern world, we are constantly inundated with airbrushed images of wonderful looking women, supermodels with perfect figures that have been professionally made up and who look stunning. And let's face it, most of us can't live up to that. Now, I'm a woman in my 50s, and 20 years ago, when I was quite a bit lighter and obviously a lot younger, I would be too embarrassed to go out in shorts. I was too worried, I didn't have the confidence, I felt fat, I felt unattractive. When in fact, of course, I wasn't. Now, another thing I'd like to stress is that these tips are for everybody, whatever age, shape, style, size, whatever, whoever and whatever you are. Whatever your style is, these can help you feel better. And we're going to start today on legs 11. So, I don't know if the camera can pick this up. I've already done one leg, and I'm going to do the other leg in front of the camera. Now, this is a tip that you can use for on the beach, for if you're going out of an evening, if you're going to a pool party. A lot of the products are waterproof, and also you can get the products in various degrees of prices. I've gone from the high-end range to the mid-range to the lower end of the range. Anyone can do this. You don't have to have a lot of money or any skill to do this and improve your features. Now, how we start off with legs? Well, I would recommend, most importantly, exfoliation first. Now, before, whether you choose to suntan or apply fake tan or stay pale, exfoliation is a wonderful thing. Not only does it make your skin look good and feel better, but it's actually great for your health. You detox your body when you scrub or when you exfoliate. Whether you use a scrub or a body brush, always move towards the heart, up the arms towards the heart. Not only will your skin glow, you'll have more energy, but you're doing something for your health as well.
Then we get down to hair removal. Now I know there is a huge thing at the moment about be happy to be hairy. There's a campaign on the internet, and I totally agree with that. If you're happy to be hairy, happy to be pale, fine. You do what feels good for you. Personally, I like a little bit of a tan. Being naturally fair-skinned, I don't tan very quickly, so I accentuate that. And I'm going to show you some products to use that can help you do that as well, very simply and very quickly. I'm going to do it on screen. Obviously, normally I would do this straight after a bath or a shower and before I got dressed, but we're improvising here. And I'm doing this in bare feet for a reason. Okay, so let's say we've exfoliated, which makes us feel glowy. We've either had a natural tan, and I must stipulate, please, if you're going to sunbathe, use sun protection. There's some brilliant sun protection out now, including things like this, which are waterproof and actually add a sparkle as well, which makes your legs or your body look good, as well as protecting your skin. It's so important to protect your skin from the sun. Personally, until I get a chance to sunbathe, I use fake tan, but I'm not very good. I end up with sort of orange knees and ankles and white patches, but there's nothing I can do about that. So I use fake tan and then go on and sunbathe, using protection always, very slowly. If you're lucky enough to have a deep skin tone naturally, then obviously you don't need to bother about certain aspects of this. But other things, like the highlighting trick I'll show you, will also be relevant to you. Now, I don't know if you can tell on the camera, believe me, in real life you can. I've done this leg, and I've accentuated it with a little ankle chain. Now, as I said, I'm in my 50s. I'm not a slim woman. I'm a normal shaped, average woman. I would never have dressed like this 20 years ago. Thankfully, I've gained the confidence to do so and learnt some tricks to give me that confidence. Now, this leg hasn't going to be done, and I'm going to show you how we do that. First of all, after the exfoliation and etc., the hair removal, if you want to, this is what I do. Okay, I get, because I don't like to be too dark, a little bit of moisturising lotion, which I measure by eye. About that much should do one leg. If this is good for your skin, again, as is massaging yourself, I then add a slightly browning product. This is wash-off browning product. Now, I like this one. It's a wonderful product, but you can use many, many others. Now, I take that, and because it's too dark for my skin tone used on its own, that's why I mix it with moisturiser. You can mix it with suntan, sun protection, or you can put sun protection on first, which I have done today. So then I do a few sprays. You have your lotion.
Free taxi 4 times a month and 25% discount on your car insurance if you're the Zero Hero.
Yeah, I'm here in Marbella, but it says here I'm in La Canada.
If you haven't mastered the lingo, don't worry. Linear Director has a free GPS geolocator service that will come and find you.
There we go. So that's a mixture in my hands of the tanning lotion and the darkening product. I then add, just for a little bit of glitz, 1 drop of a shine product, which you can use in many different ways. I will show you in a moment. There are lots of products that you can put on afterwards. Then we mush all this up in our hands, which is slightly messy. And now I'm going to apply this to my legs. One of the most important things is to make sure you get it on evenly so you don't have streaks. Now, if you're wearing a cocktail dress, you might choose just to do this on your lower legs, but personally, even in a longer dress, I like to do my whole leg. Okay, there we are. That's done. Now, I don't know if you can see, but immediately that leg has a slight glow. Very important here. I'm now going to wipe my hands and wipe that product off. Okay, clean hands. Now normally I would then leave this 5 minutes to soak in and dry off properly. Unfortunately, we're live on TV for Marbella now, so we don't have time to do this. Now this is one of the most important points, and I'm going to have to put my leg up on the table to show you this. This is a great product. It comes from a local Spanish supermarket and costs less than €3. I've got other products here that are more expensive and mid-range. You can use whatever you choose. This is what you do. And you can use powder or, as I said here, pencil. Basically, any sort of highlighter will do. And with either powder or a crayon or whatever product you choose to use, and you then blend that in. As I said, normally I would wait 5 minutes for the lotion to dry before I apply this, but in this situation I don't have time. Now, if I'm feeling particularly bloated or I have more time, this is another thing I do. Take a little bit of bronzer or contouring cream and apply it to those areas of my legs that I feel aren't quite in the shape I need them to be. But do remember, these tricks work whether you have a perfect supermodel figure or whether you're a size 18, whether you're 15 or 50s like me. Basically, it's enhancing what nature gives you. So I'm doing this just to emphasize my legs and make them look slightly slimmer. Okay, now we have the magic touch, and that is a pair of heels. I have a pair of medium heels. If you're a flats girl, that doesn't matter. Wear your flats, great. Your legs are going to be looking better already. But I'd like you to see the difference from me now to putting the heels on, and I'm going to finish that off with something glammy to make me feel good, which again accentuates how you look. Now, you can use many products to do this. Here I have a great set, which is a medium price set, which you can see it's been well used, which has a shiny highlighter or a plain highlighter. Personally, usually during the day, I don't like too much sparkle. But if you like sparkle, go for it. Again, the actual lotion you apply can be anything, from something you buy in your local chemist, a brand name. I've used one here that I particularly like the texture of, but any moisturiser will do, as long as in the summer you've got your sun protection on. And then any sort of bronzer. This again is from a local Spanish supermarket, very reasonable. And we have, again, another mid-range one. Now, your brushes are important for that. Then, if you want to finish off, and this is great for evenings, we have, she says nearly falling over, a little glittery spray that you can spray down. There we go. Now, if you see the beginning of the program and the end of the program, you can see the difference in my legs. I'm going to turn around so you can see. As I've said, I'm a woman in my 50s. I don't work out terribly much at the moment, which I should, and I never had the confidence before to do it. The Feel Good Factor is showing you that there are tips that could give you that inner confidence for you to make the best of your beautiful self. Thank you for listening, Marbella, and I hope you enjoyed this new section. It's bye from me, Amanda Silkensin, and see you soon. Thank you.
Hey, hey, it's a brand new day. Hey, hey, hey.
Did did you know that the government actually makes loads of money from us foreigners, the tourists who don't know the local laws? And unfortunately, ignorance is no excuse. I would like to remind everybody that now during the summer months, you can only take your rubbish out from 8 o'clock at night till 11 p.m. Between 8 and 11, particularly for those perishable rubbish that can smell. We don't want rats, we don't want cockroaches, we don't want infestations. We want a clean, nice smelling city. So it's really, really important, please, that you remember to take your rubbish out only between 8 o'clock at night and 11 p.m.
Hey, hey.
You never know who you're sitting next to in Marbella. Well, today I do. This is Scott, and we met actually on the beach a couple of years ago. You were working in a beach bar. But
Yes,
then,
I was.
The other day I was having dinner here in the harbour, and who should come up to serve us but, ta-da, the lovely Scott.
Me.
It was so nice to see you again.
It
and
was
you've
lovely
been
to see you as well, Nicole.
on very exciting times since we saw each other last time.
Yes, it's one of those things that that just sort of you fall into. I've been living in Marbella for the last 26 years and working in the catering industry and restaurants, you know, for many, many years since I was 15. And I got an opportunity to work on cruise ships, and I'd done it as a stopgap thing after uni for a year to travel around and see, but that was just when I was young, when I was 24. And now I looked into it more as a career choice. And I was very lucky. I got a job on Seabourn originally, which is a 6-star luxury cruise line. And I've been traveling around since then. I mean, the company is, I work for Silversea now, because that was originally, this was about 3 years ago. And they gave me lots of training. I went to work for Thomas Keller, 3 Michelin star restaurant, French Laundry in the States, sommelier training. And then after that, I then went to work for Silversea, where I'm currently working now, very happy. I'm on their expedition ships, which means the ships are specially designed to go into the North and the South Pole. And I've spent the last 4.5 months in Antarctica.
That is, I mean, for me, it blew my mind, particularly as you actually studied the
Biology, yes, and
so
I went
for
to
you,
university.
Being in catering and now combining the two, what's it like being on an expedition ship in the Antarctic?
Well,
I mean,
it's
cool, no, lo
absolutely,
siguiente.
it's probably one of the most incredible experiences of my life. I mean, it's seeing just the raw majesty and beauty of nature when you go out and you see all those icebergs and the sea itself. It's so green and clear. And then, of course, you've got the wildlife. I mean, you've got gentoo penguins, you've got seals, elephant seals, fur seals, you've got orcas, you've got whales, and it's just all around you. I mean, you feel like you're literally in an episode of Blue Planet, and you've got David Attenborough going on the back of your head going, oh, you see the lovely, you know, fuzz icebergs with the gentoo penguin colony on the top. It really is incredible.
Are there people out there when you go there? Is it like you find yourself really isolated, or does it depend on the area?
Well, we base ourselves in Ushuaia, which is in Tierra del Fuego. It's one of the last towns at the bottom end of the world. It's famous for being the last one in Argentina as well. It's a very big growing community there because of the Arctic expeditions and the Antarctic expeditions which they're doing. But it's good because it's also protected by IATO, which is an international accord and treaty to protect the flora and the fauna of the Antarctica and the Arctic. So even though the cruise line's going there, we have to go through the official IATO channels. The guests have to have a briefing and a training before they're allowed to go on land, because you have to know how to respect and try and keep the purity of the nature without too much influence or impact from man. So they're really strict about that, and that was really lovely to see as well. And the rest of them are just scientific bases or military bases based on the land.
Was it out of luck that you got transferred to those missions, or was it something that you sought out?
Well, I've always worked on around Asia, Australia. I've done the Caribbean. Mostly I've just followed summer and around the world equator. So for me to do something so different, I mean, everyone's like, oh, it's the cold. but you didn't really feel, we had thermals on it all the time anyway, and it wasn't that cold as much as I thought it'd be. But I did want to go onto the Antarctic expedition, which is why I applied for Silver Sea originally. And it wasn't until literally 5 days before I left, I didn't know which ship I was going to go on, and I was so happy and grateful.
Your suitcase together, like
well,
swimming suit and thermals.
There isn't really much you have to pack for. I mean, there isn't. Because you're on the ship for 6 months, so you've got to pack your basic necessities, your toiletries, your socks and underpants, and then you bring just a few items of clothing with you, because we're there to work, and we do have the bit of free time that we have. Generally, we will be going off ship, or we'll be going on land, Antarctica, or going on Zodiacs and things like that, cruising around. So you don't really use a lot of clothes per se, because you've got thermals on and big parkas and woolly hats and gloves.
Do you have like good contact there to be able to Skype and ring home, or are you like off the grid completely?
Well, it depends, because on the ships we use satellite internet, so it can be good, it can be bad. It depends where the satellite is at the time. Companies do give us they gave us like an hour free internet every day, in case you wanted to contact your family, or you wanted to go into Facebook and put some photos up. So they're very supportive about that, and the crew life is very good as well.
Yeah, there's a good team. And
yeah, well, we have our own entire in town underneath the ship. I mean, the ship isn't very big. It's only got 3 restaurants, a theatre, and a few piano bars, because there's only 200 passengers. But down below we have our own crew bar, we've got our crew lounge, our crew mess, our crew gym. It's
everything you need.
Everything we need on board is down.
Except
down there.
Mummy.
Except Mummy.
Except Mummy.
That's why I have to come back to Spain, and then I come and stay with Mum when I'm here 2 months out of the year.
As a mother myself, it's like, thank heaven. Because having a loving son who then disappears half a year, particularly to the other side of the world, is it ever scary? Have you ever been scared with the... obviously you're in uncharted waters often, and you've got those huge icebergs. It always makes us think of horrors.
I never felt scared there. Then when we were going across and we did the western coast of Africa, and it was a big culture shock to me, because I've never actually, Cape Town was beautiful, that was lovely. And then we went all up the coast around Namibia and Sierra Leone, and a lot of
pirates and things in those areas.
We have people that come on board, we have private security firms that come on board, they put some special water jets. Sometimes they might come on with actual firearms to protect us. And a lot of the places we couldn't actually get off the ship because of the terrorist levels there. And I did feel a bit uncomfortable in some of the places. But apart from that,
so
it was
comparatively
beautiful.
speaking, the Antarctic is probably
the
safest place.
A lot safer.
It's just everything's relative.
You only have to worry about an elephant seal and just don't approach it if it's got cubs. That's the only thing you have to worry about in the Antarctic.
Well, it's lovely to have a chance to chat with you and to see you so happy. I think that is the thing that is most remarkable, that you are loving what you're doing, you're learning,
exactly.
You're growing, and you see this, as you say, as a career move.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons I did it. I've worked in Marbella for a very long time, and it's anyone who's lived down here, knows it's a very touristy and seasonal area.
Very transitional.
Yeah, and to make a career out of the catering industry down here is very hard, because working for these big companies, not only am I traveling around, but they're teaching me at the same time. I get sent off for training courses, I get sent off to do specific sommelier courses, or to learn more about this, and this is something that the company pays for and wants to do for you, so you can grow, and you can grow in the echelons of the company
and
itself.
You can always, with all that experience, one day set up something here next to Mum, and you'll have all the experience in the world.
That's the plan. That's the plan.
Scott,
and you'll be down there, Nicole. You'll be the first one invited.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it. And I know it's going to happen. I'll just wait for the invite. Scott, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm here in Marbella, but it says here I'm in La Canada.
If you haven't mastered the lingo, don't worry. Linear Director has a free GPS geolocator service that will come and find you. Spain is famous for its wines, and then in Marbella we have the most amazing restaurants that have selections of wines that we really do want to try. And of course, Marbella is famous for our nightclubs, for going out and partying. But it's important to do so responsibly, and I'm so delighted to say that a lot of our local companies have jumped on board as Zero Hero Incentive. The idea is if you're going out with 3 friends, if 3 of them are drinking and one of you is a designated driver, you shouldn't be punished for doing the right thing. And that's why I'm delighted to say that nightclubs such as Tibu and clubs as Babylonia, Portside, are giving this incentive all their support. Other places that you can go to, the Boardwalk, the Harbour, Beckett's, the Playwrights, the Red Chiringuito, the Urban Boutique Villa, the Hard Rock Cafe in Puerto Banús, the Kempinski Bahia Hotel, Cape Padre, the Mexican in the centre of town. There are so many places that say, yes, please do come and have a good time, that they want you to go back many times. And the best way to do that is, step 1, keep yourself alive. 147 nationalities, all driving on the same 27-kilometre coastline. And so that makes it tricky to start with, but then we go out and have a drink. Maybe we haven't got all the attention with us that we should to make sure that we're driving to the best of our ability. Also, Linear Director Road Traffic Safety Foundation is supporting this with the breathalyzers that I'm going to get out now and show you one, because the participating businesses will be giving you one of these. And at the end of the evening or the lunch, if you blow in this and you haven't been drinking, you don't pay. Pretty cool, huh?
It's a brand new day.